Hello, this is Carrie, Wooing Nature. Let me get my light on. Hello, this is Carrie at wooingnature.life. Welcome to October, Virgo. I am apologetic about the fact that I was late. I wanted all of the videos to drop at the same time, and yours was still at the end because you guys were first last time. So I try to go in the season, like whatever the season is, then that's the person that goes first. So that's the zodiac that goes first. So anyway, you all were last this time, and then but anyway, my apologies for the lateness, but I am going to get this up to and day. All right, so welcome to October, Virgo. I will be reading from the Sacred Earth Oracle. So you can actually see it. Sacred Earth Oracle. And then I'm also going to be reading from the Wisdom of the Oracle. And last but not least, I will do your tarot reading. And your tarot reading is going to come from the Tarot of 1001 Nights. So give thanks for making it through another month. And we're going to pull two cards or check out two cards from this deck just to see where the balance is, or where to find balance, or where to create balance, or where to see it. All right, so we've got clarity and potential. Clarity and potential. So potential is just that. It's potential energy. It is the energy of inertia. So once you start at a certain place and you're sitting there like a lump, that's potential. Now, potential can seem really great, right? When you look at a person, you're like, oh, that person has potential. That doesn't mean they're going to do anything. It just means they have the potential to do so. So you have plenty of potential, Virgo. That is what you have, and that's great. I am seeing the inner child in you that is trying to speak. So I think in October, you need to really allow your inner child to give voice to what it is that you're doing. Now, this can be a really fun exercise if you don't mind acting a little bit silly. And the reason why I say that is because what you can do is put yourself in the mindset and in the body space and in the voice of who you feel like your inner child may have sounded like, right? And then while you're doing that, you're going to talk through issues that you normally talk to inside your head as an adult. And what's going to happen is you're going to have certain realizations that you didn't have before because your inner child knows things about you that you have forgotten as an adult. And so you just have to reach into your inner child. That sounds like a great exercise. I'm going to write that down and put that down for people to do. It's a great thing to do. And so I'm getting that this is going to affect your crown chakra and your throat chakra. I think that we're talking about giving voice to your inner child. It's about communicating the way that you communicate, how you're communicating, and what you're communicating. And sometimes we get locked into a certain pattern of communication. We get locked into a certain pattern of thinking. And because we're in a certain pattern of thinking, then we're also operating in a certain pattern of communication. You should read a book called I think it's called Finding the Voice Within. It's a really powerful book about your physical body and your emotional body and how the physical body responds to your thoughts, to your hesitances, like when you want to do something but you don't do it, and what happens in your body and how it affects your voice. But at any rate, this is about you being able to speak. So I'm seeing the throat chakra there, and I'm also seeing the crown chakra. Crown chakra tells me that there's some information that's trying to come through to you that you need to get to. And by doing so, I was checking the time because I didn't see the thing ticking. Sorry about that. Um, there are some things that need to get through to you and through you. So it's not only getting to you through your crown chakra, but then you're going to give voice to it as well. And so there you have it. That's the information there. Where did I? Okay, so that's potential. And then it was clarity. Was it clarity? For some reason, I thought it was a different one. But at any rate, I'm going to go with what I'm going with. So it was, we're talking about clarity. to me, once this happens, clarity is going to come. Once you get off the inertia phase and you start moving, and the moving is just what I'm telling you to do. Like, the movement happens when you go within, when you find that inner voice, that inner child, when you bring that inner child's voice out. That's the work. That's what's going to get you out of potential energy and to actual action, right? And so then we have clarity. And so clarity for you, Virgo, is it is actually, it's also dealing with the crown chakra. It's actually dealing with crown and your third eye chakra. It's both of those. And it's about the bridge between the two. And the bridge between the two has, how do I put that? Well, it's moth energy. That's what it is. I'm seeing this right there in the forehead. It's moth energy. So for those of you who identify with the moth or who are familiar with moth energy, these are animals that are nocturnal. They're able to see through the dark. If you have been doing any kind of work around the shadow work, which is now recently over or should have passed for some of you, others of you, there may be some other, trickle downs. But at any rate, this kind of passage through the dark is what it's about. It is a silent path. It is, it is, um, you have to use your spidey senses, something to that effect, but it will allow you to find a place of clarity beyond that. And that's what you're trying to get to. That's why the flight. I hope that makes sense to you. For some of you, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Um, in general, for that information, it's about transformation. This is a transformative process for you that you are going through right now, Virgo. And that process is there to bring you clarity, is there to give you clear focus, so that you will know how to see and how to maneuver, even if it is through the dark. But I don't think you'll have to do that anymore. I think that you're going through that is going to, is sort of the prerequisite for what is coming, for what you're going to have to learn about and do next. Okay. I think that's it. I don't want to go too far. Sometimes you can you can be interpreting something. You don't want to over interpret it because we are talking about the entire cipher here. So, which is now at 102 people. I am so happy. That is so cool. I'm not attached to numbers, not really, but at the same time, it's good to see that other people are connecting, and that's what's most important. And hopefully, we can have some good conversations. I really like the YouTube crowd. I'm on Facebook. I'm just going to take the station identification. I am on Facebook. I am on Instagram. I am on Twitter at wooingnature if you want to follow in those places. But I really like the YouTube clan because the YouTube clan talks to me. And I like for people to communicate back to me. And I feel like that's where that happens. So I really appreciate it. All right. So moving right along to the wisdom of the Oracle for Virgo for the month of October. Virgo people, month of October. Virgo, month of October. Alrighty. I'm looking at you being an observer, a conscientious observer. You are an observer of things that are happening in the spirit realm, which to me tells me that you are very open at this time. There you go. So, moon connections. Whenever I see a moon in a card, I'm going to tell you about your moon connections because you need to make your lunar connections. The lunar cycles and getting in touch with your lunar side is going to get you in touch with your intuitive side. It's going to get you in touch with your yin. It gets you in touch with your receptives and your receptors. And so when that's happening, when you're getting in sync in that way, for those of you who are men, it doesn't mean that that's some feminine stuff. It's not about that. It's about you really being able to access your intuitive space. And that's very important because you don't want people to be telling you what you're supposed to know for yourself, right? Because you know how to go in and retrieve. And everybody should, I shouldn't say should, I don't like saying should, but it would be a good idea, I think, if people reconnect to their inner truth and their inner vibration, and so that they can hear for themselves. Then that way that they're not being told what to do, they're not being dictated to, they're not being, fed a bunch of sack of lies, because you can go in and actually retrieve truth for yourself, right? Without everybody's noise. That's what I mean. So, Virgo, we've got you in observer mode. Again, you are observing things of a spiritual nature that puts you at the crossroads. So, all your crossroads spirits, those of you who are connecting to crossroads spirits, and you'll know what I'm talking about, you need to be in touch there and make sure that you do whatever it is that you need to do in relationship to that, so that the connection can become clear for you. And I'm also getting that there is something right now in the presence that's not for you. It did come in the reverse, which means that's a protection message. So I'm going to read that out of the text for you. But the fact that that's coming up for me is kind of like something that's happening around now, like right now, while you're hearing or seeing or reading this, that there's something that's happening that's not quite for you. But I'll go to that in just a second. And then in the near future, it's talking about being in the here and now, which I think is very important. It's always important to be in the here and now, because the past is over with. It's not that you're forgetting the past, and it's not that you're not utilizing lessons and messages from the past. What it is you can't linger on it, or you can't dwell in it, or you can't ruminate about what happened in the past that couldn't be fixed. You just have to let that go. As far as the future is concerned, that's yet to be seen. It's based on the present moment anyway. It's based on present moment decisions that you're making. It's based on present moment actions that you're taking. So whatever it is that you're doing in the moment is going to shape or affect what happens in the next moment, and the next one, and the next one. This isn't new for you. I'm not telling you anything that isn't new for you. So let's read up about this not for you in reverse. This is card number 6. So for those of you who are numerologically inclined, I am going to go to passage number 6, and I am going to read the protection message there, which is the instructions per Colette Baron Reed and this oracle. All right, so when the card comes in reverse, we go to the protection message, and it says, don't chase after what flees from you. Don't obsess over what eludes you. Don't bang your head against the wall. Oh, that's my favorite one. There is nothing romantic about what is unavailable. No prize given for torturing yourself. And nothing to be gained by refusing to see the red flags that have been waving since you began your pursuit. Now is the time to walk away. There are other goals, other loves, other games, other successes waiting for you. The way out of obsessing is radical acceptance and surrender. I love that. Radical acceptance and surrender. Spirit wants only the best for you. This is a sign that you have something much better waiting for you. Trust. No wonder you got to be in the here and the now. Well, I felt that, so I don't know. Maybe you didn't, but I felt that. I felt that very strongly. And I take heed myself, so I might have to take Virgo's word for today and apply it to my own situation. You know how sometimes you be reading things and you talking to yourself? That's how you know we're all connected. All right, Virgo, let's head on into the tarot. This is for details. You know I like to go to tarot for details. These are the details about October for Virgo. Detailing for October. What needs to be focused on? What may be the focus for October? Challenges that may confront you in the month of October. Things to think about. We just free read until Spirit says that's enough. All right. What do we have? What do we have? I saw you. Tried to hide. All right, so we have a Seven of Swords in reverse. To me, the Seven of Swords, normally in any other deck, is about theft. It's about deception. It's about things that are being, that can be hidden from you. But it is in reverse here. And because it's in reverse here, that tells me that things are not being hidden from you, Virgo, that you are very aware of what's going on. But it's also telling me for you to be aware, to remain to maintain your awareness. Okay. So remember, we're talking about the observer card. Be observant of what's going on around you at all time. And if somebody tries to pull the wool over your eyes, or if somebody tries to, show you something that you already know is just like everything else, but they trying to put a different spin on it like it's something else, when you know good and well that it's not, then you go on and pull your Seven of Swords in reverse on them. Okay, so all daggers can't lead at you. You got to go and send them back to where they came from. I'm seeing you spending a lot of time alone, but you're kind of ruminating around in the same space. And I would say for you, it's time to get out of that space. You're feeling cornered in. You don't need to be cornered in. You got to roll yourself out of the corner. Sometimes you can get in a space and you're circulating in a space and it ends up being like the same thing. Not the same. It is the same thing. It is the same thing. But not only is it the same thing, it's the same damn thing. I'm sorry. That's just what's coming to me. It's like it's the same. It's the same. It's the same. You can't keep doing that. And the reason why you can't keep doing that is because you will create a pattern for it in your life. And when you create a pattern, when you keep doing something over and over again, you create that pattern, then it becomes ingrained in you. And then when it becomes ingrained, then it's like you're on autonomic. You're automatically doing it without thinking about it. And so you have to be careful about the patterns that you find yourself in. That's what that's telling me right there. All right, so we had three cards to fall. Let's see if any of them are cups. Yes, one of them is a cup. We'll get to that in a minute. So I see that you have your sights set on other places. You want to go into a new territory. You want to do a new thing. You want to see other places and be in other places. And that is understandable. It's completely understandable. You do have the power to do so. That's why the magician came in with it. You have the power to do so. The issue, as it comes up for me here, is in this Four of Chalices. And the Four of Chalices is really about, having a true understanding of yourself without the extra. It's like you've walked away from something that you had. That's what I'm seeing in this card here. Now, this did come in reverse, but I just want you to see the image. You've walked away from something, and it's good. Like, and bygones, like the bridge is burned there. Let the bridge be burned there and see where you are right now and then move forward from there. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. It's coming in reverse, so that tells me that may be the hang up, or that may be the issue, that you haven't quite established a new vision for yourself. That could very well be the case, but it's not that it isn't there. You're starting that. You're starting to see that. And I just want you to know that you have the power to do it once the vision becomes clear. That's why we were asking for clarity earlier today, or that's when we were talking about clarity. There's a time period for that, and there's a time period on that clarity. That's what I'm getting right now. Like, it's not for you to try to force it, or for you to try to make the clarity happen. You have to move like the moth. You have to move like the moth. I think that you should look up the moth and how the moth hears and how the moth sees and how the moth navigates the dark. And I think that will help you get the clarity that you need there. Okay. But yeah, it's like you have to establish a different kind of foundation for yourself because you moved away from the thing that you were accustomed to because it wasn't going to sustain you. It wasn't going to last. It just wasn't, right? So instead of like maybe wishing for the past or wishing for there to be something else, that you just let go of that completely. And I think that that will unleash the tools and um, the means for you to be able to move on to the next adventure, to get unstuck. So I'm still paying attention to the Seven of Swords because I don't like Seven of Swords to come up in the reading. I don't like them. But I have to be open-minded, you know what I mean? Because you never know. You never know what it could be. All right, so we've got the Six of Spades, the Six of Swords, rather. The Six of Swords is in reverse. To me, this is again about you moving into different territory, being able to be moved in different territory. It's also about, again, you have to have all of the pieces together for that to happen. And in order for those pieces to materialize, you just have to be very clear. Again, I'm seeing this in these two cards. Again, this one did come in reverse. I just want to make sure you know that. But at any rate, this clarity has to come first. And when the clarity comes, then, then you'll be on to the next thing anyway. But just be patient for that to happen. Or you're going to have to be patient for it to happen. That's what I'm being told now. You have to be patient for that to happen. Don't worry. That's what I keep hearing. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. See, that's the devil right there. That's the worry. It's like the big boogeyman that threatens to, scare the bejesus out of you. It's like whatever it is that scares the bejesus out of you, that's the devil, right? So in relationship to this, if it really scares the bejesus out of you to do something, I always recommend that you do it anyway, because it's fear. If it's fear-based, you have to break through the fear. And it's the hardest thing to do is to do the thing that you fear doing. But once you do the thing that you fear doing, then you realize I can do the thing that I fear doing. And then it's not to be feared anymore. I'm not saying for you to go into some kind of dangerous situation, Virgo, or anybody else who might be listening to this video. I'm not saying for you to go into dangerous situations acting like you're Wonder Woman or Superman or something like that. What I want, a Green Lantern, whatever. All I know is that in my experience, the things that you fear, you should just go toward it. Now, healthy fear is always good. But that kind of fear where it's really, I don't know, fear of public speaking, get up and talk in front of people and end it for yourself. And then you don't have to be fearful of it anymore. So we have the Ace of Swords. This is the Ace of Swords. It shows somebody flying in the upright position. It shows someone flying across the sky. And these two people being very engaged in conversation with each other, being completely relaxed with each other, and just allowing the current or allowing the winds to take them and enjoying it. But it's in reverse, Virgo. So my question for you is, why would such a wonderful thing be in reverse? Which is my question. Why would such a wonderful feeling type of thing be in reverse? Why is your Ace of Swords in reverse? Because that's what it is. It's the Ace of Swords. Interesting. Okay, because of the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So it may be some financial situations that got you down or that have you down. It could be some challenges. I feel like it's financial challenges. Financial challenges, or it could also alternatively be health challenges. So whichever one. So if you're having health challenges or you're having financial challenges, or you're having trouble materializing something that you're trying to make happen, then I would say it's time to lighten up. I get, for whatever reasons I get, and I know I'm not getting ready to go by what everybody else says, so let me preface the statement by saying that what I am getting from this card is this is Aries energy. So it could be somebody with It could be that that's the energy that you need to assert in your life, or it could be that there's this other person that I'm saying that you're flying through there with might be that Aries type of person, and that's good for you for a time. But it's really just to get you unstuck out of the situation that you're in. So like if it's a financial thing that gets you down, then this person like kind of following the lead there and kind of breaking out, having that Aries fire energy, branching out and doing something different will actually break the pattern that may be keeping you from having the financial thing that you want. And then alternatively, you stretching yourself as far as what you need to do about your physical body if you're the one that's having the physical issue. But either way. So I'm getting that this is the labor of love. This is the work of your hands. This is the thing that you will be studying and working on during the month of October. It is something that is going to open your heart. It is something that's going to get you in touch with some emotions, but not a lot. Like it's not going to be an overly emotional time. I don't feel that at all. What I feel is that you're going to see a different side of your emotional self. So instead of you thinking about, oh, I feel like this and I want to feel this and that's where your feelings have been, now your feelings are going to be like, you know what? This is the feeling of determination. This is the feeling of let's go get it. This is the feeling of now is the time for me to set things in order. That's the feelings that I'm working with. And that's the feelings that I feel like Virgo is working with in October. And I feel like those are feelings that Virgo works with anyway, because they are earthy, and they do have that Mercurian mental, like let's get it done type of way. So I really appreciate that about you all. But that's what it's looking like for the month of October. Again, my apologies for the delay, and you are last but definitely not least in my heart and mind. And so Virgo, I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great October, and I hope that you're having a wonderful life.